of Season 18. I am really looking forward to this. Today I'm joined by my co-commentator Liam. How are you, mate?
I'm hyped for the new season and can't wait to get us underway.
As am I. We have seen how competitive these have been. We saw on qualifier night some spectacular times from these drivers. So going into this, it is definitely going to be so competitive, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's quite well. Silverstone short. I'm expecting, well, with these drivers, the field spread to be around about a second because of such a short lap time. It's only about 45 seconds, 43 seconds. So I'm expecting it to be quite tight.
Definitely. I mean, we have seen plenty of really fast lap times already across all the tiers. But going into this I'm really excited to see what these drivers can produce in this pre-season race. I mean, it's going to be impossible. It's cool. Will we see drivers dip into the low 43s perhaps in qualifying? That is the question. What will pole time be? Also a massive question there. But I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, same here. I'm expecting I'm expecting these drivers to put on a show for us this evening, considering what the battles were like in other tiers earlier this evening. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some more close racing tonight in this tier.
Definitely, it'd be interesting to see what the driver's mentality is coming into this pre-season race. Will we see people, because it's all about mentality. I was speaking to you beforehand, obviously you're a prospect tier driver yourself, so you can give me more information than I can, but how important are pre-season races to the rest of the season?
It's not too crucial, but it is a nice confidence boost. If you have a good pre-season race, it is a good confidence boost for the season ahead and can give you just that little bit extra you need to maybe, I don't know, just get that extra edge over your rivals. So I'm expecting these guys to certainly be hoping for that.
Yeah, like we were saying before, mentality is going to be a massive thing this season. In one hub, that mentality is drivers have to be so confident going into the races, because if we were speaking before, in every race drivers do, they will be punished for those mistakes. So to cut those mistakes out, you've got to have that really strong-minded mentality.
Yeah, I'm expecting these guys. Well, not long until we've got a couple of minutes before we get underway, and as you were saying to me before we started, this is your first quality gig at One Hub, so I'm hoping that you get everything you're expecting really, and the guys put on the best show possible for you.
Yeah, I hope so. I definitely feel like there is, what we are. I think we can expect it from these guys. I have seen how quick these guys are. I did a few of the quali night, and some of these guys I have commentated over before, so I know how fast these drivers are. So it'd be really interesting to see what they are like in this pre-season race, as I think we are just going to get under in a few moments' time. But it's impossible to call, because it is, like we're saying, such a close tier, but you reckon around a second? I'm not sure. It's tough to say. Will we see drivers around that second mark? I think we will see the majority of drivers in the 43s, though. I think we can almost be, sure of that, because this is such a strong tier, and during the race, it'll be tough to It'll be tough for any driver to make a mistake, because if you make a mistake here and you don't get the result you want, it could affect you going into the first round.
Yep, definitely. It's like you said, we're definitely guaranteed everyone to be in the 43s, so I think the field spread could be even closer then maybe. And as for the race, I think it's too close to call at the moment. I think it's all going to come down as to who holds the nerve the most. It's a 100% race this evening, because it's a short circuit, so it is really about the length of your average Silverstone Grand Prix on a 50% race.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of laps we will see tonight. It is a tough track, actually, but Britain Short. I think people do take for granted, they think, this is going to be quite an easy track. It is very punishing with track limits, actually. I was watching the previous streams, and just doing a bit of time trial and races myself round here. You will get punished for penalties if you're not careful. And in Sector 2, I've seen a few people already lose the car or struggle for traction, in fact. So it's tough to say, will we see anyone tonight really struggle for traction, do you think, or struggle in general?
I don't think it'll be struggling for traction, I think the main issues will probably be track limits. Like you said, Sector 2 is quite strict on track limits. The right-hander just before you get exit out onto the hangar straight is quite tricky with the track limits because the game doesn't actually really show you the track limits, so if you go that a little bit too wide, sometimes you get invalidated, sometimes you don't. And you also don't want to cut the large amount of curb on the inside too much either.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much curb drivers are willing to take, because if you do go over, you do risk getting warnings, but you want to just take that just amount of curb, you know, and use the exit curbs perfectly round here. But it is a very tough track, to say the least. You know, I expect to see some fantastic racing. It is, of course, my first time doing one of comms, but I am definitely looking forward to it. But I think you were saying, mentioning before, you were with this tier last season. So what can we expect from this from this tier?
Well, going off last season, it was quite tight at the front for quite a while actually, as well. Josh Fletcher won the championship, but he didn't really win that many races. He was just consistent. Otherwise, although these guys have the pace to win the race, it's just who's the most consistent over the 10 races this season, and it was the same last season. So I think it's going to play a part as well, the consistency, not only your pace. I recognise a few of these guys from last season as well: Vahanen, Kia F1, Scorpion as well, and Nick as well, the big boss, and a few a returning face in Reflow, who's in the Red Bull this evening, who hasn't raced at one half for a while, but is back after a while this season. And Salty Bear, the prospect tier champion last season, has shot straight up the precision, so we'll wait and see how he gets on.
Yeah, definitely. A Salty Bear, definitely one to watch out. One was on prospect last season and did superb in that. Hence why he's in this tier this season. So he's definitely going to have a point to prove in this pre-season race. But like you were saying, it is impossible to call, you know, who the strongest out of these are. Just to go through, One Hub is, of course, partnered with Next Level Racing, Freem, Vespertine, if I can get this up, and ERT. So those are, of course, the sponsors of One Hub, and thank you for
and of course Liam RBS, who kindly sponsors our trophies as well.
Thank you to them for sponsoring One Hub, which makes this all, of course, possible. But going into this, it'll be interesting to see what tyres people choose to go on, because reading up the track information beforehand, the mediums don't actually have too much of a pace difference, and of course they give you that benefit coming into it.
Well, the tyre wear isn't that great, to be honest. You can get the softs to around 12 laps without much difficulty, really. The tyre wear isn't that great since it's such a short circuit, but ERS management is going to be a big thing, as there aren't many heavy braking zones for you to charge your ERS, so ERS management is also going to play a big part this evening.
Yeah, ERS round here, like you were saying, those heavy braking zones are where, of course, the majority of the battery is recovered. And with such a short track like this, it is tough to recover. So, you know, they have to use it very sparingly. So, also, another thing to watch out for is the dirty air. We know how bad it is around Silverstone, and arguably it's even worse around Britain Short. So, as Valkyrie joins, that's good to see. So it'll be interesting to see how the drivers cope with the dirty air in this.
Yeah, a few drivers in other tiers earlier this evening have been complaining about the dirty air around this track. So, like you said, it is going to cause a few problems, as I believe we have the Red Bull of Reflow, who is the first to cross the line. So I'll let you take us around the flying lap.
Okay, here we go. So in sector 1 there, he's got to keep it nice and tight, use a bit of the entry curb here, and then a bit of the entry curb here, and then just try and get such a nice run coming onto the longest straight. This is where I expect to see the majority of overtakes tonight. We're into this DRS. Here he goes now. It's a really strong banking up, actually, with a 23.3 in sector 2 now. He had a really nice sector 1 and a really nice sector 2. Can he hook up this sector 3 now? Got to take a little bit of the inside curb, skim over the exit curb there, and now coming to this. What sort of line will he take? Coming around the final corners, he's just going to want to really pull the car through and across the line. What will it be as a banker? It does look strong. It is a good, really good banker for Reflow with a 43.8, and that is a fantastic first lap to get us underway. And that is Zahanen with a 43.6. What a lap that was from the Hash driver.
Yeah, I think we were bang on in saying these guys will be in the 43s for the lap times. Scorpion with 44.3 there. Dainstar with the 44.1, crucially on the medium tyres though. So he's just out getting a grip for the circuit on the mediums, not really showing his cards that much just now.
Yeah, with those mediums, it will be interesting. You know, that is actually quite a nice lap from Dainstar on the mediums, as we see the AlphaTauri driver of Vitano crossing the line with a 44.444. Lots of fours there. Slots himself in 7th place. Do we see any drivers out? I think Martin is on a lap, and that is a strong lap for Martin. Indeed, a 43.6. Nice lap there for the Williams driver. Seems to be like a lot of people are getting really nice banks here, and I think we predicted it quite well actually, with a lot of drivers tucking in those 43 laps. I expect to see though, potentially, it's tough to call already, but would we see one sneak into the low 43s, do you reckon?
I think so. I think we could maybe sneak a high 42. It depends really how much fuel you've got in the car. If you've got the bare limits of fuel in the car and you get everything absolutely spot on, I don't see why not. Why can't these guys get into those high 42 lap times? Just as well, one we forgot to mention is Salty Bear in the Renault is currently sitting in 5th place, so not bad for him. After jumping up from, and Kieran in 4th in the McLaren, who was one of the podiums quite a few times. He's a good driver on his day, just had a bit of bad luck recently, I think.
Yeah, with Kit, it's an interesting one. I've actually seen Rauko actually. Well, he's done very well. With a 44 flat, basically. He nearly half on the car there, Rauko. So he did fantastic save it. But with Kit, I know how talented that driver is. You know, the McLaren driver. I've been commentating over him in lots of different leagues as well, and he's fantastic on his day. But he seems to always get unlucky, or he just has happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. So he's definitely there or thereabouts on pace. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do tonight. Currently sitting in 6th place, but behind him with a 43.6.
Nick across the line, sitting in 4th, ever so slightly improved on his lap time by about 5 thousandths of a second.
Well, that is how small the margins are around here. I think the field will be very tightly split, actually, as we're going to see Don DeBoer, cross the line. What is it? It's a fantastic lap for the Red Bull driver, a 43.6. So really challenging behind in there, slightly slower though, but ahead of Martin, which I think may be crucial for the Red Bull driver. But it's nice and sunny in qualifying. But would you want to see a wet race, perhaps?
Would certainly throw a spanner in the works, as Dainstar's currently on his outlap on the soft tyres, so we'll stay on board with him for a while, I think, and we'll see where he slots in as he's getting ready to gear up for his flying lap. And I will really guide you around the lap here as he's getting ready to launch himself out of the final corner now, foot down, cross the start-finish line he goes. Wants to keep it nice and wide through turn 1, just clip that inside curb, and we're into turn 2 now. You want to keep it as left as possible, just clip that inside curb, get it as straight as possible, and clip that inside curb and wide as possible through here. Get as much of that curb as you can, and wide, just about touching the grass you need to be as you fire down towards Stowe now. He wants to be clipping this outside curb before he turns in. Gets it nicely, just clips the inside curb through there, getting a nice amount of exit curb. And nice and wide for the last chicane now. Clipping the inside curb and across there. Nice and wide on exit, just touching the inside curb, and it's across the line, and it's a 43.8 up to 6th for the Mercedes man.
Really nice lap there, just as you were guiding us through. Behind him did a 43.5, which is a fantastic lap for the Hash driver. Will that be you know, competitive for pole position. It will be interesting. Can the likes of Martin, Don Deborah, Reflow, you know, any driver here is more than capable of snatching that. But that was actually a really nice lap from Danestar, and it's really interesting to see where the drivers actually find this time, because it's such a short track, and you know, the lines they take are so precise. It's really interesting to see. It's just that split second, whether you've got the foot down or you just got a toe, you know, that can basically decide your qualifying. As Martin has done a 43.525, which puts him 1/1000th of a second behind the Haas driver Verheyen.
It's going to be an interesting battle for pole then, with about 10 minutes to go. So we clearly haven't seen the best of these drivers yet, as we've got only one trauma coming through the first corner. We've got Corey in the other Renault going through turn 2 as well. And the inside curb there can be quite dangerous in the race, I've found, and in qualifying if you put the power down too early going across that. It's quite a slidey corner, that.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've already seen a few drivers just they try to do as Corey invalidates that lap and he is into the pit. But yeah, with that corner there, it is interesting because I have seen drivers already, you know, they lose the back end because it just slides away from you because you're trying to get the car turned in as, you know, as nice as possible, you know, as you can. And that is, I think Tom, the only Tom is on the lap at the minute, the RP driver, so just going to go on board with him, but carrying on about that as he is slightly improving by 2,000ths in the first sector. But with that inside corner, I think that's where we may see the majority of incidents, as we just see Tom over it now. I've seen drivers, they just try and take too much curb and then they just lose the car, the back end just slides away from them, slightly down in the middle sector. So will we see him improve on his time? The only Tom currently sitting in 5th with a 43.734. Will we see him battle Danestar here? He's got to hook up this final sector nicely. Will he be able to do it? He's more than capable of. The RP driver, can he get it across the line? It's going to be close. It's just a 10th off. So we'll probably go for another run, because of course it is a 2-stop round here, so be interesting. I mean, the pit lane is so long. It is the joint longest on the calendar with a 25.5 second pit lane, so that'll be interesting to see when the drivers pit and whether they decide to do the undercut tonight.
Yeah, it does play quite a big part of the length of the pit lane, especially for such a short track. To have a massive pit lane like Silverstone, it's just crazy to think about. Well, but looking ahead to the race, as you were saying about turn 2 earlier, I think that Stowe and probably the left-hander of the chicane are going to be the main overtaking zones tonight. Salty Bear's disqualified from the session.
Yeah.
As it is starting his flying lap, I believe. So keep an eye on him as he's going through 2-1. And Verheyen goes even faster with a 43.4 here. Martin is coming through Stowe now. He's not giving up without a fight. Braking through the last chicane now. Gets the power down, rounding the final corner now. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be a 43.4 dead.
What a lap for Martin.
These guys are definitely taking this seriously. Yeah. They're not giving each other any hopes at all. They're just trying to prove it to each other. So you could have these two in the battle for the race win possibly.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at this qualifying, just a note on the Salty Bear there is Riley sets a 44.2. He spun off the curb we were talking about before, actually. The danger, like, he just put his foot down a lot then. Riley's nearly lost it. Riley has lost it. He's got to control the car and to make sure he doesn't hit any walls to stay. Yeah, he does. He's controlled it really nicely there. Salty Bear, though, he spun and then he just completely lost the back end. Into the gravel he went. And as he tried to get back on the track, it just disqualified him. So disappointing for Salty Bear there, who looks strong in qualifying. The driver up from the prospect here. Hopefully he can recover that during the race. But like we were saying before, with the top two behind him and Martin.
Looking across the line now, I believe. I'm not sure unless he's now starting the lap. I think it's glitched maybe. Certainly crossed the line twice unless he invalidated. Going to have a look further down the field, and Corey in the Haas is invalidated. Don DeBoer currently going. Nobody on a flying lap as of yet. Actually, I may be wrong. Nick looks to be on a flying lap as he's going a purple sector 1. Keeping it nice and tidy on the left, and he's going to have to get the power down and close to that grass as he dares there. Good exit there. He's about a 10th up on his personal best.
This is nice. This is nice from Nick.
Still going to need to get as much to that exit curb as he needs, and not invalidate as he comes through the last chicane now. What's it going to be as he rounds the final corner? It's going to be a 1 minute 43.7, so 8th place for the big boss Nick, as I like to call him.
It's a nice lap there for Nick. Valkyo hit the wall though in the qualifying session, lost it at the same corner as Salty Bear did, so I expect to see coming into the race a few incidents there perhaps, looking at this qualifying session, but Valkyo just losing it, and into the wall he sailed, just a passenger in that Haas car as it hit the wall, and out of the qualifying session he did, but he only set a 44.004, so he'll definitely be starting outside the top 10. Be interesting to see what strategy he will go on, because if you're starting outside the top 10, what strategy would you go on?
I don't think it really makes too much of a difference considering how short the lap is, but I think starting on the medium would be the best, because then you'd get the 2 soft stints right after each other, so you'd be going faster for longer really towards the back end of the race compared to some of the other guys. But I think the strategy for most of these guys will be the soft, medium, soft, so if you start on the mediums, you're going to have that advantage in the middle stint.
Yeah, but if you're starting on the soft tyre, it'd be interesting to see when the drivers, whether they delay it until their last stint, or whether they want to get it in the middle stint to be faster at the end. I think we may actually see a variety of choices there, as Riley with a 44.274 just starts a lap here, the McLaren driver, so like I was saying before, with this track, he's half a 10th up in the first sector, so he's looking really nice in the first sector there. He should really perhaps improving his time, but he invalidates in that sector 2 where we were talking about before the qualifying session, how tricky that track limit is there. I think we can maybe expect warnings and maybe even penalties to be picked up from that corner alone, because if you go just slightly wide off the entry curb and then just get a poor exit perhaps from understeer, you can really pick up quite a few warnings, and because of the lap times, you know, it can come thick and fast, those warnings and potential penalties.
Yeah, Refloat is coming towards the end of his flying lap. He was down a little bit in the middle sector and he's almost spun it there on that exit curve, so that's going to cost him a whole heap of time. So rather unfortunate. It was looking a good lap for the Red Bull man there until he just put the power down too early, as I believe his teammate Don De Boer is on a flying lap and is coming through the last sequence of corners now, through the second part of the chicane, also losing the back end.
Whoa, he's fully lost it this time! He's managed to keep that tyre on the car, but sailing round off the final corner there, so he put his foot down a little bit too early there, because he lost it originally, saved it, and then foot down again, but perhaps with hot tyres, and round he sailed, but he's not out just yet. So as I see Key on a lap at the minute, currently down 13th, both McLaren's 13th and 15th in qualifying, as Key there not losing it. He's always nearly lost it, and I think that cost him quite a bit of time actually, just that final corner there. Just
Martin is gearing up towards his final flying lap, it looks like. He's coming through the final corner, doesn't lose the back end at all unlike some of the other guys, so we'll keep an eye on him as he's going nice and wide to get the run through the first corner. He's going to need to keep it as close to the left hand side as possible, use a lot of that curb, just avoid that curb on the inside. Power down now. And getting, there's a Renault in the way there.
And I think that's put Martin off and he's invalidated.
I think he's invalidated, yeah. I'm not sure if he has or not. He's certainly down on time, so he's going to need to get in and out quickly. Unless he's just going to go again. Yeah, he's just going to continue on, so there's going to have to be an absolute belter of a lap here from Martin, and he's wanting to snatch pole away from Verheyen, who's currently on his flying lap going for the first sector, and Verheyen spun and hit the wall,
Verheyen's lost it.
lucky not to lose his front left wheel on that wall. As Martin just up by 4 thousandths of a second through the first sector. Here he goes now on his final flying lap, nice and wide on exit, power down. He's going flying down the hangar straight under the Armco side. And he's still about 6 thousandths up, so he's got a nice line through Stowe using all the exit cover. He's invalidated by going too wide on the exit of Stowe.
That's a shame.
To cross the line will be Danestar, I think, maybe, who's coming through Stowe. So here he comes now, breaking into the chicane, gets the left-hander sorted nicely, and the right-hander. Power down, not losing any traction at all. It's across the line.
Nice. Nice from Danestar there. Put by a 10th, but as we've already seen a lot of drivers really struggling.
There isn't anyone else to do a lap now. Everyone's really just... Actually, I think Thomas, the only one left that's actually on their flying lap, and it's going to be 6th place, 4600 of a second improvement. So not bad from the Racing Point man in 6th place.
Yes, it was a good lap for the only Tom, but like I was saying before, you know, people they've crashed out in this qualifying session, so be interesting to see what the mentality is. Will they be more cautious during the race because they have crashed out in the qualifying session?
I don't know. I think as more grip comes, the more grip they put down on the track during the race, I think the more confident people will get with pushing the limits. So it's going to be one thing to watch out for is people gaining confidence throughout the race.
Definitely, and as the qualifying session rounds to a close, we are just going to take a minute's silence on a formation lap to pay our respects to the late Prince Philip, who one of is saddened to hear of his passing earlier today, and we do send our condolences out. Thank you for joining me on that minute's silence. But now come into this race. This is where the action begins. We have seen 2 drivers opt for the tyres as we see 4 red lights, 5 red lights. And away we go for Season 18 Precision Tier Pre-Season Racing. It seems like behind us had a really nice start. Perhaps going for a move into turn 1. No, sticks behind Martin. And you just see Dainstar there, the Mercedes driver. Really strong start for him. But we see at the back there, Scorpion seems like getting past Kieran. And that is Don de Boer having a nice start as well.
Yep, Martin gets a clean getaway with Dainstar currently battling away with Corey in the Renault. Reflow hunting down those 2 leaders, hopefully. Looking back, you've got Toma just slotting in behind the battle between Corey and Dane. As Corey's pushed Dane a little wide on the exit of Stowe, so that could be a warning for track extending there, as these 2 are not giving up yet. Toma's still trying to find a way through. Can't quite find a way past the Renault blocking his way.
There is yellow flags.
Towards turn 2, we'll see what unfolds now. As Nick is now, as we've had a bit of a timing glitch, it looks like. And it's back to normal now. Corey dropping back from Dane there. And has now got Toma for company here, going down behind a straight. So Toma is up the inside. Will he make the move stick? The racing point on the Renault? No. Corey fights back around the outside, but Toma's not giving up in at the chicane, still holding in there.
Oh, he's round! He's round! The RP driver, that's a Renault round as well. That's Corey. I think both RPs have actually lost it there. And the Renault driver of Corey sailing round the back. They were side by side, the only Tom. But he just couldn't make the move stick. And round he went. It is unfortunate for the RP driver. And hopefully he can put himself back into this race now. As you see a lot of drivers very close to each other, in fact. Coming on to now where DRS is activated. You see Nick maybe under a bit of pressure as he gets a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits, but you see Lukey now, the Alfa Romeo driver, really gaining on that Mercedes. Will he have a little look now into Stowe? No, sticking behind.
Yeah, if you look back from Nick, you've got quite the train forming behind the Mercedes right now, so he's holding absolutely everyone up currently.
Well, this will be interesting to see now what his mentality for Nick. What will he be thinking about Mercedes driver as he sees his teammate ahead of him just pulling that gap over? You know, it's nearly 4 seconds now, and I think that may have actually been a little look from Valkyo, and it is a look from Valkyo. He has hit the back of Lukey, but he will have a compromised run now coming into the DRS straight because he hit the back of Lukey. I don't think he picked up any damage from it, but he will have to. He will see that McLaren of Riley, who's had a fantastic start actually, and so is Valkyo. To mention that, up 7 places off the start. It's a fantastic start for him. Valkyo on those mediums as well, so don't forget about that. This is going to be a really interesting battle now, because Nick is going to have to just hold on, because he's got this train forming behind him. He's got to try and break that DRS, but that is going to be extremely challenging because of how fast natured the track is and how free flowing it is. Like, you leave the DRS and you're straight back into it, and there's yellow flags up ahead, and I'm not sure who that is for, whether it's just for a car further back. I can't quite see.
Maybe it's the back marker of the Boer coming out with the pit lane. So nothing too much to worry about, as Martin's still holding about a 5-second advantage to the cars behind, with Refo currently hunting down behind him, and Dainstar floating about a second behind this group at the moment with a 4-second gap to his teammate. Dainstar in a bit of a no man's land just now.
I'm sure Dainstar would actually like his teammate to catch up here, because they can work together, the 2 Mercedes driver, but his teammate's currently occupied defending from Lukey. Lukey has pulled a second gap, it seems, though, to Valkyo, so Valkyo may be under a bit of pressure here from Riley. Coming to the DRS straight, he's obviously Riley on the soft compound, so will we see Riley now having a good run at it at Valkyo, coming into Stowe? I don't think Valkyo's actually going to regain that DRS, he's not, and he's locked up that front right, which obviously will cost some time. So this 7th place may be perhaps under attack here for Riley, and he will just sail past pretty easy, but Valkyo is not going to give it up easily here. Had a little look, but decides to back out of it, I think, sensibly there. So Riley up into P7.
Yeah, good move from Riley. Easy peasy really down the straight, getting it done before the braking zone. Power of DRS and DRS really showing here. as Dane's coming at the back into a familiar situation to Rifo and Vahanen now being about 5/10 back, not really being able to do anything, being stuck in the DRS train. Nick has still got Lukey company here as Lukey has got a penalty and Pricey picking up a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting.
Few penalties being picked up earlier, only on lap 7. We have seen 4 drivers pick up exceeding track limits penalties, and Pricey, who is being lapped now, the RP driver, is also joining this train, of course, but his goes, so it won't matter. But Key at the back of this train now, he's up 3 places, had a decent start, the McLaren driver, and he's just going to be tailing Scorpion. But that battle up ahead, though, is definitely going to be interesting to watch out for. Vahanen will just be, he's sat happy behind mine at the minute, and it is yellow flags, and that's for an RP driver, and I can't actually, is it for Pricey? It is for Pricey. Seems to have lost it on the exit curb there, and into the gravel he sailed. So Pricey now is a lap down, and perhaps, you know, it's too early to call that he is out of the race, of course, because if it's a safety car, could be straight back in it, but he's going to be at a big disadvantage now, as we see Lukey actually closing up to the back of Nick. So like you're saying before, with this train, Nick's still under this pressure from Lukey and now Riley.
Yeah, I've just been watching this battle between Lukey and Nick, and Lukey seems to get really close to the back of the Mercedes going through turn 2, but is never really able to get close enough onto the run, never really able to get a good enough run onto the back straight to get past the Mercedes. It's just something he's been struggling with, is getting the run through this right-hander and getting on the back of Nick's Mercedes. And then Nick is on the car there, and I'm losing the ability to speak. But Nick is mowing the grass a bit here around Silverstone Short.
As Key picks up a penalty. Riley had a little look at Lukey, in fact, coming into turn 2, went down the inside, but he had to back out, I think, sensibly there. It was going to be tough as Riley picks up a 3-second, just running wide off the exit curb. So that will potentially be really damaging to the McLaren driver. I think it's all about who can, you know, pick up the least amount of penalties, as that train up ahead is just still ongoing. It's so tough now in that train to get any moves done, as we've seen Nick still holding up, you know, these drivers, as there's yellow flags, and that's Corey out, and I wonder whether Corey's actually hit the wall. Will we get a view? I think Sooty Bear's too far back to get a view, and there's a full course safety car, really early safety car round Britain Short. So this may change quite a lot now. Will we see drivers? I think drivers will pit. Yeah, and Martin's actually cut a lot of the track there to enter the pit, so I'm sure that may be looked at actually after the race. But Martin, they're all drivers, I think, sensibly choosing to pit, I think.
Not looking good for the Mercedes boys anyway for this pit run, the pit stops. Nick's definitely going to be held now due to the double stack, but Key may be doing the smart thing and going that extra lap so he doesn't get held in the pits, because absolutely everyone else is in the pits right now. So maybe trying to sneak that advantage while everyone else gets held in the pits. Maybe he can make up a few positions by staying out that extra lap and not getting held.
Yeah, Nick got held massively, which means that Riley actually got past him, and so did Scorpion. So it will be key getting us back underway very shortly. So perhaps a bit, it was actually very smart there, Key, I think, avoiding that double stack. I think he does have to pit pretty soon, though, as he gets very close to the safety car. But like I was saying, a lot of drivers, we did see that double stack from Mercedes, and Key now dives into the pit. So pretty sensible there, I think. Oh, yeah, he's picked up a 5-second, though.
The right decision from him, apart from the speeding penalty, but smart decision to go that extra lap and avoid everyone cramming into the pits, really. But the top 4 remains unchanged, so these guys have really got away with it here, unlike Nick, who's really suffered from that round of pit stops.
Yeah, Nick just had that massive disadvantage because he obviously with Danestar, I think that, I don't know actually, it compromised him massively though, because 2 cars jumped him. And where does Key come out now? Because he avoided the double stack, and I think this actually worked out massively in his favour. It has. He's also jumped Nick, so fantastic from Key. I think he's getting about 2 or 3 places just from that pit stop and staying out that extra lap. So it will, of course, have the lap fresher tyre, and is right behind his teammate now, the McLaren boys, so they can work together. But yeah, Nick massively compromised by his teammate and double stacking there, but it came out at just the right time, I think, to enter us onto the second stint.
Yeah, if Nick backed off just that little bit more when the safety car first came out, his key comes back into the pits, I believe it'll be to serve as drive-through for speeding, maybe.
Why?
Or a stop-go, because he definitely got a penalty. I'm just not sure what kind. I'll have a quick look in the race director.
Yeah.
For you. It's just a 5-second time penalty, but I think he's put on the wrong tyre. He meant to go in the mediums, and he's put softs on instead.
Oh, have you seen the tyre compound I thought Salty Jason's gone to?
Yeah, a very odd decision to go onto the hard tyres, especially here.
Yeah.
Where tyre wear doesn't really play a fact, and neither does your tyre compound, so the mediums are perfectly capable of keeping up the soft runners.
Yeah, it's only 2/10,
sure.
so it's definitely an interesting choice to go on the hard tyre. I mean, what would you have gone on to? I think I would have personally gone on to the mediums. What about you?
I'd agree with you. I'd have gone on the mediums, especially around lap 12-13 was when I pitted, and my soft tyres were really only hitting 40% really. So I'm not sure about these guys, but the tyre were really not that bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad round here, and it's really interesting. I think it's something better. I'm not quite sure why he's done that, but we are back underway. It's a fantastic restart for Martin, and I just see in the back. I think it's a 3 wide moment going to turn 1. No, I think Scorpion had to back out of that. So the race, the Red Bull of Reflow under attack. Still, that's down the inside goes Danestar, trying to make it stick. The Mercedes driver still side by side with the Red Bull, and Danestar's gone through, I believe. It's a fantastic move for Yaz, forcing Reflow to take the wide line. I think Danestar still under pressure as they are still going at it into Stowe now. What a battle this is between the two of them. Danestar back down the inside. Can he make it stick this time, perhaps? Reflow
Hanging it out there, but it's going to go side by side into the chicane. Dana on the outside. Will Reflow squeeze him out? No. He's given him enough space, but he's going to go round the outside. Dane getting the better run, though, through the final corner.
Oh.
So it's going to be another battle into turn 2, maybe.
What a battle that is between them. And you see Lukey perhaps getting involved now as well. I had a little look at the Red Bull, but a look up from Danestar. I thought he thought that Reflow was going to actually go down the inside there, but Reflow decided to send a little fake one. Lukey now is just going to be having a look at that Red Bull car, eyeing it up. But that was a fantastic lap-long battle there, side by side. So they made it work. Danestar got the move done. Really nice. Oh, Lukey. Oh, that got really close.
Gonna put him into the cut.
Yeah, I mean,
no, not quite.
Oh, he's just sticking with him. DRS been enabled.
Beat me to it there. Looking about 2.5 times behind that Red Bull, gaining rapidly now through turn 1. Surely he's got to have a look up the inside into turn 2. Oh, he's lost it there slightly. Reflow perhaps not giving him quite enough space there.
That is really tough to do there for Lukey. I think he was expecting Reflow to... He was asking a lot of Reflow to, you know, give him that sort of room. But, I mean, I'm just looking at this gap. The leaders have extended to each other now. And I think this could actually play a massive factor. If Martin can keep up that sort of gap, that 1.2 gap, and just stay out of the DRS from behind, and surely he's looking favourite to win.
Yeah, surely. He's been absolutely dominant so far with no mistakes. As I think Reflow's got away with one here. Lukey gaining again, but nowhere near as close to have the dive. So Reflow's safe for now. As he has, well, he isn't even in range of the DRS of Danestar anymore, so he is going to be in the threat from Lukey going down into Stowe. Is the Alpha close enough to have a lunge? We'll see, not quite. It's going to have to be into the chicane, but Lukey can't quite get the drive off Stowe. past that Red Bull.
You can't take your eyes off this battle. Reflow just staying ahead. I mean, Lukey now, it's clear he wants to get past as soon as he can because he's burning that ERS. Also, speaking of ERS, Reflow does a lot of himself, the Red Bull driver, so he is using a lot to defend. I see Lukey again gaining. Will he do it again? He will down the inside of Reflow. This time not fully sending it. He's just happy to stick behind. He got really close there. The right tyres of Reflow and the left of Lukey. So will Lukey again have another go at the ERS?
Closer.
He is close this time.
To have a move. Here he goes up the inside into Stowe. He's sent it. Is it enough to keep the position? To get position? No, Reflow holding it around the outside. The outside seems to be the preferable line through Stowe, really, but keeping it side by side for the chicane. Lukey having enough, just pushing the Red Bull off. But it's Reflow's turn to go have a go at the Alfa Romeo. But Lukey looks a lot more composed for the first corner, but Reflow is back up the inside, but Lukey gets the driver on the outside through that corner, crucially, and Reflow's going to have to back out.
Oh, he's picked up a 3-second Lukey.
Drive, and he's cut him off there, so potential stewards inquiry there, but Reflow getting the preferable line here through Stowe.
Oh, he's let's go wide again.
Force wide. He's gonna have to send it into the chicane if he wants to get his position back.
Oh, there's contact and he has saved it.
As Relkio gets past up into 5th, so he'll be the next one to have a go at the Alpha, sitting in 4th place just now, who holds the key to being able to catch up to those front runners.
I think that Scorpion actually having I think he may have been looking at Reflow there, and there is yellow flags, and Vitino's he's retired in the pit, so he hasn't done it on track luckily. But Valkyo has actually got past Reflow here. I think he had a lot of time lost, and I think Valkyo actually having a little look here at Lukey through Stowe. Had to back out of that one, but Lukey, yeah, like you were saying before, he did cut off Reflow, and it got
Reflow back goes into the back of Valkyo and loses part of his front wing there. So an employee lost on the Red Bull. Lukey going very wide there through the last corner.
That was
Relkio just sticking in there. Broke very early though, Relkio. And stopped so suddenly. I don't think Reflow really had time to react. So he has lost part of his front wing, and that'll leave him vulnerable to Scorpion, who's behind him now.
This train is just starting to form now behind Lukey. We saw it in the first stint.
He's gonna go for it. He's gonna go round the outside probably. Not the wisest move on somebody who has front wing damage.
That's a one wide.
He picked up a penalty for it, but he is going to get the move done. And Nick is also passed as Reflow dives into the pits to repair his front wing.
Just like
Softs can technically go to the end from about lap 24, but it is a bit crazy to try it.
It's definitely optimistic if he does go on softs, but just what I was about to say there, we saw this train form behind Nick in the first stint now, and this train is also now starting to form behind Lukey, so will it be the similar outcome, that there'll just be this DRS train and that no one can get past? I think Reflow's actually picked for the medium, so I think he has taken your advice there perhaps, and just, you know, he's realised that, yeah, he has gone to the medium, so I think he's realised the softs are not viable at this stage in the race, and it's just taken a safe bet in the mediums.
I think it was because he had the front wing damage. If he got to go a little bit later and stop about lap 30, he would have gone soft to the end, I imagine. But unfortunately, I had to get that bit of damage, as Scorpion's about 7 times back from Relkio and Lukey, and has Nick to worry about currently, who also has John de Boer behind him on the softs.
Well, this battle now for 4th place, but we see Valkyo go for it. I think he's going around the outside. Seen a few drivers tried to take the outside line round Stone. I think, like you mentioned, it is the more favourable line, it appears, so far. So Valkyo getting the move done. Pretty standard stuff there for Valkyo, but get himself up into 4th place. Nice overtake there, but a little lock up on the front left. He will have to, of course, defend from Lukey. He's desperate to get that position back, but that train is going to also have to be careful to not push it too hard. Now, there we go. The pit window is open. you said it perfectly there, that about lap 24 the softs become viable, and the game has said, you know, the softs are now viable to go on. Will we see any drivers, you know, take that early choice?
He's picked up a penalty.
Ooh.
Or I believe it's corner cutting, so he's really got to put the foot down now if he's wanting to get away from Verheyen. But going back to the battle behind, Nick is now going to try and go around the outside of Scorpion, who forfeits the outside line at Stowe, and it's going to let the Mercedes have a clear drive around his outside. Nick's up the inside into the chicane, he's giving Scorpion room, but Scorpion doesn't send it into the second part of the chicane, as Ralphio sits the fastest lap of the race so far. Nick off hunting Lukey ahead, but Scorpion isn't done yet. He's going to send it into turn 2, but doesn't quite make the move stick. I think he's backed out of it here. He's going to wait for the DRS.
Here we go. We see Scorpion now with the DRS active. Willie again send it on Nick. He really wants to get past Nick now. After Nick did him the lap before. Will we see it? Scorpion, I think he's a bit too far back. He is just a tad bit too far back. But Nick still ahead now. Don de Boer just behind on those soft tyres as well. He'll be also looking, but oh, massive lock up for Scorpion. Nearly riding into the back of Nick, like what we saw with Reflow, and he could have picked up the damage there.
Oh, that's going to put him in the grasp of Don de Boer here, who has got his, well, who was using overtake mode through the final corner, but he isn't really gaining as much as quickly on Scorpion as Scorpion was on coming into turn 2, but he's close enough now if he wants to have a go. Under DRS, it's all about this exit onto the straight. He's got a good run onto the straight. Scorpion ahead will also have the DRS though, so not much he can do, and he thinks better and saves his DRS until Scorpion is outside of the DRS of Nick, or just a little bit closer to him.
Here we go. Will we see Don de Boer have a go at Scorpion now? He's going to have to be careful, of course, because Key is not that far behind as well on those medium tyres, in 9th place at the minute. Will we see Scorpion? No, I think he's too far back to Nick. I'm not sure how much the DRS allows you to gain round here, but I think he is just too far back. But Don de Boer, I think, is looking more likely if he wants to get the move done. The Red Bull driver, will we see it? He's using ERS, so I'm guessing so. Here we go, he's gaining massively on the Ferrari. Could be going down the inside at Stowe. He is going to go down the inside at Stowe.
Scorpion thinks better of fighting back for now. Maybe he's going to have a lunge into the chicane now. Thinks better of it. He's going to let him burn out his soft tyres and try and get Nick. So I think Scorpion is going to try and use Don de Boer to his advantage and let the soft runner go after the Mercedes ahead, and maybe it cost him some time so he can be right back in Scorpion's clutches, hopefully. But Kieran all over the back of Scorpion now, about 2 tenths behind that Ferrari. The Scorpion doesn't get the best line going onto the straight, but he's close enough to Don de Boer. I don't think he has to worry too much about Key behind him. But he is gaining slightly, Key, but not enough to make a move, as Don de Boer is dropping outside of DRS of Nick currently, so Scorpion's really going to have to get past shortly if he has any hopes of catching Nick.
Here we go. Will we see Key now? He's joined this train, it seems, behind Don, as there is yellow flags in sector 2, and that's Reflow. And I think that is, so that may be a VSC perhaps. There's only yellow flags for the current stage, and it is on track. Luckily there is ghosting. It's a full core safety car. So will we see F1 onto softs now, do you think?
I imagine so, as Martin is in, having cut across the track there. Nope, he's decided he's staying out because he's seen Verheyen staying out, so he's not going to follow his rivals. He's going to copy his rival now, but Dane is in, Ralkio and Lukey in behind, Nick also in, so you better pray Dane's far enough ahead that they can successfully double stack here. Salty Bear staying out on those hard tyres. If I was him, I'd come in and get those off like right now, or a set of mediums, and maybe even a set of softs.
I think Salty Bear now. He's got that decision to make.
Held in the pits again.
Oh, that's poor. It's not. It's just unlucky, really, for the Mercedes of Nick. He's been held twice now. He always gets himself back in it, but he just gets held in these pits. But onto the final stint now. He's gonna have to work from the back, it seems.
I personally think Nick should take a page from Kieran's book and stop the lap later, as Salty Bear is now into the pits. So he just stays out along with the two front runners. So these guys are going for the alternate strategy here and not coming in just yet. So they want the tyre advantage towards the end of the race compared to guys like Danestar and Ralkio.
This is going to be interesting now. Could we see Key now compete for a really strong position in the pre-season race? Been really impressive so far. Against one, it seems he's got this strategy nailed on. He knows what he's going to do. Quick update on the penalties as it stands. Key also has 6 seconds though, so that could cost him. Martin, crucially, with that 3 second though, could that cost him a lot of time to lights of Verheyen?
I think it's going to come down to the penalty between Verheyen and Martin. I'm going to have a quick look at Verheyen for his penalties, as he only has 1 warning. Verheyen only has the single warning, whereas Martin is currently doesn't have any single warnings towards a 6 seconds of penalties. So Martin's really going to have to count on Verheyen making 2 mistakes and picking up a penalty.
Verheyen's at the wall! Verheyen's lost it on the safety car! He's done a Grosjean indeed. What on earth has happened there for Verheyen? He has just put his foot down. He's done a George Russell. He's put his foot down and the car just slid away from him. And into the wall he goes. That could cost him massively. He looks so strong for the race win, in fact, with Martin's penalty. Oh, that could change everything now. He will have to pit because of that wing damage. But what has happened there?
I think the pressure might have got to him a little bit. His tyres are cold, so safety car is in this lap, so he's not even going to have the benefit of the safety car to hold everyone up.
Oh dear for the Haas driver, looking so strong for the race win, but out he go. Well, he's not out, but round he goes, and we'll see Martin get us underway with Key now in that second spot. Can Martin get a really nice safety car restart like he did last time? When will he go? He's going to go late, in fact, so just waiting now until he gets around as Don de Boer picks up a 5-second penalty, and around he goes now. It seems to be a really nice safety car restart for Martin, and he's got the jump on Key, so he is sailing off into the distance. Will we see anyone have a look? It seems like we will. Don de Boer down the inside. Oh, I think there was contact with a Salty Bear.
Inside the Key into turn 2.
He's fighting back. Key. Oh, it seems like Danestar's got the move done. Really nice for Danestar. That tyre advantage, making it work. Now Scorpion past Riley as well, but Riley battling it all the way now, using the ERS side by side still. We potentially could have a 3-wide moment as see the Mercedes of Nick just right at the back, so close to them. Riley trying to take the outside line, making it work. He has made it work. Nice defence there from Riley. Scorpion just having to back out.
Yep, as across the start-finish line comes Martin, and look who's not far ahead of him, Verheyen in the Haas, so he could be about to go a lap down here. He's not too careful.
Verheyen, he has pit for those soft tyres, so he's now going to have to really pull something out of the bag to make, get himself up into a good spot for the pre-season race. He looks so strong, but under that safety car just really struggled. He put his foot down and round he went into the wall, but I think Lukey's going to have a little look down the inside. Don de Boer here. Will we see it done into Stowe? He's going to take the inside line. Lukey now, the Alfa Romeo driver, he's going to try and stick it. Don de Boer sticking with him all the way though. Now we have the inside line going into the chicane, forcing Lukey all the way. Don de Boer taking a long way round. Seems like Lukey's got the move done. Don de Boer still sticking with him, and it's great battling between the two, but Lukey's ahead.
Yep, he's not giving in yet though, Don de Boer. Here he comes, lining up. Will he go for the dive? He's gonna think better of it here. Salty Bear is up into 5th place, so looks like his strategy gamble has played off. Has paid off, really.
Well, we were saying it's not a strategy we would have chosen, but he may have just proved us wrong. In fact, he's got himself up into P5. Key into the minute will have to pit again. So will Martin. So that could really shake up the order. I'm not sure whether Don has pit again. I will actually just check that because it, of course, is a mandatory 2-stop as it always is. No, he doesn't have to pit again. So Don is on for the long run now. But Key and Martin have to pit again. Could we see the likes of Danestar then snatch this victory?
Well, Danestar is about 5 tenths back from Martin now, so it's all going to really... If Dane gets his move done on track, either way, I think it's good night Vienna for Martin here, unless he really pulls something special out. Because he's got to stop at least once more, and with Dane right on his tail, I think he's made the wrong move to seem to stay out with the Hinnon.
Still going at it. There's battles all over the track. I'm not really sure where to look right now. As you see, Valkyo closing up to Key SF1, so they're still battling away, these two. What a fantastic pre-season race this has been on lap 37. Still plenty of action still to go. Could we see the likes of Danestar, who we didn't really expect? We saw Verheyen and Martin all the way, but Martin chose to stay out. Late call. Verheyen, could that have cost him perhaps? Verheyen also lost it under safety car, so that would have cost him as well, as Valkyo sails past Key up in 3rd place. So we could also see Valkyo put himself in the fight as Key picks up another 3-second penalty. That's disappointing. He's up to 9 now.
Yeah, definitely not what he would have wanted from this race, but positive for all these guys is that, well, apart from Vahana, well, actually, even Vahana is, they're all going to score points this evening.
Another positive I would take is that, you know, we haven't actually seen anyone be dominant. I think that is really encouraging. You know, that means to us, for me definitely, that we can expect this to be a momentous season with plenty of upsets. And I mean, we've already seen an upset perhaps in Verheyen. You know, he's really, I think that's Martin. Martin's been forced wide as Danestar has got the move done. So Danestar in the lead now, but like I was saying before, we could see a lot of drivers, you know, that we didn't expect perhaps at the start of the season really be very impressive now.
Well, the start of the race, really, not the start of the season.
Sorry, yeah, that's
It just started.
very true. But yeah,
is gaining on Key now, so will he be the next person to get past McLaren?
a Salty Bear on a really interesting strategy. He's the only driver in this race so chosen to go on the hards, and he made them work. Into 5th place now, on the back of Key as well. 5/10 back, but Lukey on those softs. Also closing in on a Salty Bear. Key without that DRS though is going to be struggling to stay ahead, I think, for a while now of Salty Bear, but he's going to have to make that gap because he has the penalties as well.
Lukey picks up another penalty.
Oh, that could be really detrimental for Lukey.
Salty Bear could possibly line up a move into turn 2 if he uses his ERS.
This is going to be tight. Ooh, going over the entry curb there, so that could potentially have picked up a warning, the Salty Bear. But here we go, Key with a massive lock up on the front right. Will we see a Salty Bear send it, or do you reckon he's too far back?
It's too far back just now, but he could send it into stall.
This is going to be interesting.
Here we go, lines him up. Not pulling out of that slipstream until the very last second. Up the inside into stall now. Kieran, he's still fighting back around the outside, but I think Salty Bear's got it done.
Watch out for Lukey though. Lukey having a little go at Key, sticking behind for now. Lukey's still in the back of Key though. Could we see him go for a move on Key now? No. Salty Bear passed though, so really nice move for Salty Bear, and nice back and defence there from Key as well. But down the inside goes Lukey. He's still sticking with it as Martin picks up another penalty.
Oh, Key's hit the wall after making contact with Lukey.
Key's out. He's out. Chaos.
That's going to be one for the stewards, I think. As Nick is going to go around the outside of Riley into stall. Not quite got the move done, so he's going to have to do it into the chicane if he wants to get it done now. Nope, thinks better of it. He's going to line that up for turn 2 possibly.
Here we go. I mean, absolute chaos with Key. I think he's just he's been forced to take the longer line there by Lukey. So I'm not quite sure what's happened. I didn't get a good view of it, but it definitely looked at after the race. I mean, did you see it?
I saw him when he turned into the corner. Really, I think he bounced off the rear tyre of Lukey and lost the back end, and it's ended up with him slamming into that inside wall. That wall on his inside left, really. So
that is definitely going to be a talking point after the race. Martin still sticking with Dainsdale, having to pit again though on 30 lap old mediums now. He will have to pit once more. Nick still in the back of this train, but you can also see Scorpion joining us in this train. But still 31 seconds back after that spin under safety car and having to pit. Will we see anyone? Really, I'm looking at Lukey and wondering whether he will be lining up and move in a few moments' time to Stowe. I think he is too far back and actually gets a momentous exit here. And he does get a good exit, but I still don't think it's enough. 7 tenths is the gap. No, nowhere near enough to send that gap, send it into Stowe.
Closest on track looks to be Nick and Riley just now. As Don DeBoer picks up another penalty.
Well, we mentioned penalties coming into this, and you know how easy it was to pick up them and then just exceed the track limits. And I think Dainstar and Raukio could be really, you know, rubbing their hands together at the fact that they both don't have any penalties as it stands. So they could, you know, really get a very strong result and a big gap to the people behind just due to those penalties.
Yep, here comes Martin on Dane, going down towards Stowe. Imposed to the left hand side, Martin's up the inside. Dane sweeps around his outside here. Keep P1 for now. Fight Willie squeezed them. He has squeezed Williams, and the Williams is fighting back here. A bit of contact made, but not enough to spin either of them. As Nick has finally got past Riley Bice here. But Riley's right on his tail, going through turn 1 now. Riley up the inside into turn 1, not your usual overtaking spot, but Nick should have the better line around the outside through turn 2.
Oh, Riley's round!
Don't think there's any damage to that McLaren, but he is round.
Riley in the wall. I mean, I'm not quite sure what's happened there with Nick. But round Riley went to both McLarens are now out of the pre-season race. So will that be a safety car? No, it's not a safety car. So all good to carry on for now. Really unlucky for Riley, and that is definitely disappointing for the McLarens, both being involved in their own incidents in the pre-season race. But looking back up towards the front now, Martin will he get a nice run on Dainstar coming into turns 2 and 3. Yeah, it's tough to say. Dainstar with a little wobble though, so he will indeed. Of course, Martin has to pit again, but he's leaving it late. I wonder whether he actually has to pit again. But late move for Martin, trying to go out on the outside line as Stowe. Dainstar defending all the way. Really nice defence on Dainstar. The Mercedes driver still ahead, but surely Martin now with that line will have a go at Dainstar for this race lead. There's more wheel banging between the two of them. Martin forcing the long way round, and Martin back out in front.
Yeah, going back to the incident between Nick and Riley, I think it was they were basically wheel to wheel. Riley's wheels were basically banging against Nick's side pod, so I think he's really just lost it. But it wasn't in a dangerous enough position to cause safety car. Nick, as Dane's not using his overtake on Martin at the moment.
I'm not sure whether Martin knows he has to pit again. He's currently only done the one stop, so into 5 laps now. I mean, he may win on track, but he's going to have to pit on like the last... Yeah, he's going to have to pit on the last 4 laps if he doesn't come in very soon to pit onto... Well, you'd assume it'd be the soft now, of course. Lukey picking up a 3 second. I just want to give a quick update on the penalties. Ooh, big pens there for Lukey and Scorpion. It's 12 seconds each Valkyo and Danestar could be battling at this race win then, because of the penalties due to Martin. I mean, if Valkyo wants to win this race, he's going to have to rely on Danestar getting past Martin pulling into the pits, and then without Danestar's DRS, he will just be able to fly past.
Yeah, I think Martin has forgotten that it is a mandatory 2-stop. So he will be getting disqualified if things remain how they are. So going through turn 1, Dane not close enough at all to make a move on that Williams. So it's all going to come down to his exit from this corner down the hangar straight. We'll see if he's close enough. He's about 4.5 tenths back, which I think isn't quite close enough, especially if he isn't deploying his ERS either. So Martin's staying in front just now.
I think Danestar is just happy where he is. He knows that he has the provisional race winner at his hands. This is in his hands, of course, with Martin getting that 6-second penalty and looking like he's, you know, I think, no, of course it's not intentional, but I think he's just forgotten perhaps it is mandatory 2-stop, so he would of course be disqualified. But yeah, it's definitely not intentional from the Williams driver. He's drove fantastically so far this race, been really, really impressive. But of course now it's up between Danestar and Valkyo to assume for this race win. If one of these picks up a penalty, it will give the other person, the opposition, the upper hand. I mean, I want to see how many penalties. Actually, I'm not going to check because I can't take my eyes off it, of course. But it'll be interesting to know how many penalties, warnings Danestar and Valkyo have.
Yeah, if you want, I'll have a quick look
if you could
at the penalties. I believe Dane is a warning away from penalty, and Valkyo is also a warning away from a penalty.
Oh, well, coming into the penultimate lap now, there's no room for error. This battle has been all ongoing. It's been a fantastic pre-season race. There's more yellow flags. I think that may be Scorpion round there. It is indeed Scorpion.
Ferrari after all.
Will we see Danestar send it on Martin? No, too far back there. Going to Stowe now into the chicane. Will we see it? No, lock up on the front left though. He looks like he wants to get it done on track, but how realistic that is now. Using that ERS, he's got 20% to use. And how much has Martin? Martin's got 40%, so Martin can now just burn away it as he likes. Valkyo now has got to realise that he's got to get past. 30% ERS from Valkyo. Could we see Valkyo now battling into Stowe with Danestar? This, you cannot take your eyes off it. Valkyo, Danestar, Martin, who can get it done on track and who can get it done. Provisional race win. Doesn't look like it's going to be Martin. Doesn't look like it's going to be a Salty Bear. So it's between Danestar and Valkyo for the pre-season race win. Danestar going to have to defend from Valkyo. He tried to break the slip just a little bit there. Here we go into Stowe. Sticking as it is. Too far back it seems for Valkyo. He's going to try around the outside, in fact. No! Round the outside goes Valkyo. Can he get the move done? No, he can't. And it looks like Danestar's won it. Martin on track. Danestar on pen. So there we go. The provisional race win for Danestar.
Well, what a drive from Danestar from start to finish, really.
Fantastic for him. Up 4 places, but Valkyo and Asoibe up 12 and 13 respectively. What a drive it has been for second and third. And I'm going to have to ask you your drive of the day.
My driver of the day will be going to, I believe, I think I'll give it to Danestar, I think. After how well he's done, I'll have you to pick yours now if you like.
I'm going to have to give it to a Salty Bear. He did such an interesting strategy. As he picked up driver of the day from the game, up 13 places, and he was the only driver to go on hard, and he made it work perfectly. It was a fantastic drive from a Salty Bear today, and a deserved podium. So, really, really interesting drive today, and I think...
what is your question for your driver of the day then?
My driver of the day question will have to be, why did he go on the hards? What was the intention on going on the hards? Of course he made it work, but what was he thinking when he pitted onto the hards? I'm going to ask you your question for your driver of the day.
My question for Dane would be, do you think going with a different strategy from the top two was the key for your race win today?
There we go, the provisional race classification. Danestar picking up the victory. Fantastic drive, fastest lap as well. He cannot complain. Of course, that was Liam's driver of the day, my driver of the day, a Salty Bear, from 16th on the grid up into 3rd place. What a drive it was for him, and he did get that 3-second, but keeping that P3. Martin, of course, looked very strong. Good pace from him, but of course will be disqualified for not doing 2-stop. But would we have seen the likes of Verheyen and battling for that race win? If they hadn't spun, well, that would be a massive talking point. But unless there's anything else to add, of course, Liam.
I just want to thank all of the drivers for giving you a race to remember for your first ever One Hub race.
It's been fantastic. I've absolutely loved it, and in commentary with you, Liam, it's been really nice. Fantastic first race, in fact, for this pre-season, and definitely will be. This is such a close team going into the first round. You cannot split or even call the favourite. So what will we see going into round 1, do you reckon?
I think we'll see something similar to what we saw tonight, really. I think it's going to be close between Martin and Verheyen and Danestar again. Plus, we've got another 6 drivers who haven't shown up. So if we get a full house next week for Canada, so I'd be surprised. We could have a few surprises in store for us.
Well, this will be so interesting. Around Canada, it's a really tough track, and it will, you know, you're going to have to join us surely. If this pre-season race hasn't got you interested, I don't know what will, but I think that it will be the end of the stream. It's been fantastic today, I have to say. I mean, for pre-season race, I didn't expect that much drama. Anything else to add, Lim, before it's just closed off?
No, the only thing I'd like to add is, well, thank you for joining me in the comms box tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it.
I have indeed.
I have to say, so
I will be
seeing you next week.
Definitely, it's been a fantastic night of racing, and we will see you all next week, folks. Take care.